sorry, y'all. We had some certain type of activities tonight. But we live tonight, baby. Come on, tune on in. Morning music. Street folk music, baby. You know, I'm always represent. You can get it on all platforms. Tune in, baby. Tune in. About to go up, y'all. We gotta go up, y'all. There's something going on, but it is what it is. Things happen, you know. Hey, you already know you're tuning in to the Energy Podcast, and like I always say, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. You know, I have another guest here tonight. I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. Come on, tune in, baby, tune in. You know I need you tonight. We're gonna talk about a very important topic. I'm gonna introduce myself first. My name is Damien.
I'm Tasha. I'm Yolanda.
I'm Tawana.
And I'm Brandon.
Okay, we kind of rocking tonight, y'all. Y'all roll with us tonight. Roll with us tonight. It's a very deep topic tonight. I'm gonna go off the spirit. I didn't write too much of nothing down, but the need for communication. The need for communication is very important. You just seen that not too long ago. The need for communication. I want to ask, why is communication so important? Why is communication so important? I'm gonna start with Brandy.
Well, everyone, communication is a part of life. That's one of the gifts and talents that God has given to us. Is that the gift of speech. So that's number one why it's very important. It is the number one means by which we do communicate and effectively at that. So that's why communication is vitally important, because it's something that's given to us of God.
Communication is important because it is fundamental for people. It's fundamental. It's fundamental for people to be able to get on a level where they're on the same page. Without effective communication, there's going to be a constant breakdown. You need communication to get your point across, but you also need communication that the other person may be heard and understood as well.
How do you feel about that? What communication means to you?
Communication is something that a lot of us as people lack, because half of everybody don't know how to communicate. Some feel like hooping and hollering and screaming is a form of communication, and it's not.
Okay.
When you hollering at somebody, you basically starting an argument. If you just think about it first, then express yourself, things will be all right.
Absolutely. Very good.
I like that. I mean, you don't have to follow with it, because I got one for you.
Look, now.
That was good.
You let everybody go before me. Everybody said something what I supposed to say. Now, I don't be doing some people they say. But no, yeah, I think communication is important. You know, people communicate in different ways. Like, I don't communicate like you, and you don't communicate like me. I think it's for whoever you're talking to understand your type of communication. So.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to reply on it. I don't want to reply on it because I feel everybody has some good points, and I think it'd be pointless for me to even. Ladies, it's this something I wanna ask ladies this, because I feel women's are a strong point in our life. You know, what is it? Y'all call it backbone.
Of course. Y'all came out of
What is the communication that you feel that y'all are lacking towards us as men? What is the communication that you feel you're not getting?
From a man?
Yes, from a man.
Like me,
From
can
a
I get
man.
you as an example?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, like for you, if me and you were in a relationship, you don't tell me you love me, but you always hugging on me, you kissing on me. But I'm the type of person that you gotta tell me that you love me. You gotta tell me this and that. But the only thing you know how to do is just show me. So.
Well, you want me to reply back to that?
Sure, I do.
I think the communication between as growing up, some of us don't know how to show it, and some don't know how. Some can, and some don't know how to show. Some don't know how to tell. I think a lot of times that the communication that women want us to give them, it is not that we don't want to, we don't know how. The communication has to come in the screen and down the line as when you're growing up, it has to be given to you to learn how to give it to someone else. A lot of time us men, we lack that communication because of the lifestyle we live, and sometimes, you know, it may be some trust issues. It can go vice versa.
Okay.
What do you feel? What do you feel is some of the lack of communication when it comes to a man? What is it something that you feel strongly that we should always be giving a woman? I mean,
well, just to kind of highlight something that you said, you know, you talked about communication in the home, you know, in childhood and as you're growing up. Well, studies have actually shown that children who are spoken to more, they speak more, they have broader vocabularies, they have better understanding of certain things. So that's part of the issue with some people. But also I also to an extent agree with you when you say that, you know, some men just don't know how to show that love, or it's not necessarily that I don't understand what you're saying, but in a sense they may be incapable of giving what you're asking for.
Okay.
oh, what you mean incapable? I mean,
Either incapable or they just, you know, they still have some development to do. They have to be taught certain things. If you weren't shown something, at some point someone's going to have to show you.
Yeah.
So it just may be a situation where we all have things we need to work on. It just may be a situation where maybe the man, he just needs you to show him. He needs you to show him how to love. Show him how to show that love.
well, do you have enough time? Take this out, B. We wrote this down. Do see at the time that a woman might want that communication? Some people feel like they don't have time to be showing it. And some women feel like they don't understand. See, you know, sometimes a woman wants you to come fully loaded.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes they may be going through something, they don't feel that they have time to show you that, and that's why we going back and forth with the communication part. So that might be something that you might didn't know, and you have to understand that when it's time for you to consult with a man. I don't feel that you should go to a man with what you want and this and this. When you're going to somebody, you should go with understanding, enough time to communicate, because what you may want it may not be there all together, but it can be there.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm going to say something, I think that we live in a society where it's kind of time is of the essence. So when you start talking about time, like I said, time could be your friend and time could be your enemy. I'm not trying to philosophize too much or whatever, but this really has to be broken down. So at the end of the day, time becomes vitally crucial. But do we as men have the time every single day to take the time every single day to communicate with our women? Do we have the time to actually sit down and listen to the very needs, not only our women, but also our children? And if we don't, should we sacrifice something that we're doing to make the time to actually communicate to our women and also to our children? Should we do that?
Yeah, you should.
But how would you go about doing it? I mean,
it doesn't take. You could take 5 minutes. Sweetie, come here. Let's have a conversation. How do you feel? You know, the couple questions you can ask. You can make everything so much better. But men these days, they just go off of whatever they feel. You can communicate with your homeboy, but you can't communicate with your household. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy. And when I'm saying it like that is, you can talk to your friend, and he can be going through 55 million things in your same household, going through the same thing, and you you can't take 5 minutes to find out what's wrong in your relationship to fix it, but you can fix somebody else.
Yeah, you're right. I think that becomes with the I think communication also comes with listening and the way that you deliver your words. Prime example of what happened, I think sometimes, like me, I'm an aggressive person. So a lot of times, the way that I was communicating, I'm passionate about everything I do. And maybe something come out wrong to make a person not want to communicate anymore. So that's something that I have to learn as a man to have to change up from this transition to another transition to learn how to communicate with this woman, because I've been with this woman all my life. I've been with someone that, hey, you know, I can talk like this and they can understand this.
Yeah.
The communication to me becomes to be with you yourself and asking God to allow you to change when you're about to get ready to become to walk into someone else's life. Period. Because everyone doesn't get things the same way. It doesn't go that way.
Okay. Okay. So if timing is simply as a result of communication, oh no, sorry, if we have to take the time to communicate, then how important is it for us to take the time to deal with our personal issues? Like based on what you just said, I started noticing that, you know, like sometimes, you know, we're not taught certain things, we're not trained to automatically think of certain things and to do certain things or whatever. So with that being said, I think that it's important as a man that we have to take two things into consideration. Number one, what did we get ourselves into in terms of what are we willing to sacrifice to make something, right? When you're dealing with that, especially when you're communicating with a woman, and we're not just talking about the relationship of men and women. We're talking as a whole. That's what I need to say as a man. Number one. Number two is, how am I going to be perceived when I actually come across to this particular individual and how I communicate? Because that's going to be very important on how that information is received. And of course, women, don't get me wrong, y'all. I know y'all some strong women. I know y'all got strong. You got muscles in your brain. They're just so strong. But let's be real. A lot of times, women, the nature of a woman is very, 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 it's soft. And when it's hard, it's for a reason. But when it's soft, it's soft. And sometimes, the way we as men could come across, we could come across to the point where we damage you. And we don't even realize that we've broken down that means of communication. And I think that's important because women, listen, they're tough, but they have feelings. And we need to consider that, especially as men when we're talking to them.
Yes, I can agree with that. I'm gonna let one of them elaborate on that before I
chime in.
Yeah,
I got you.
You know, to what you were saying, you know, when we're soft, but it's like it's like an egg. It can be hard boiled, you know, or it can be sunny side up. But like you said, there's a reason if it's hard. And I think that sometimes that's where the communication breaks down on the woman's end, because they're so used to a certain thing, they can't hear what you're really saying. They're hearing what they're so used to hearing, you know, and sometimes, you know, due to unfortunate circumstances, you know, people get hurt, but you can't let that stop you from opening up and giving the next person a shot. You know, I think sometimes that's why some women don't listen. It's not that they don't hear what you're saying, but they still have that guard up. So I have to protect me, you know. So what you're saying is just kind of like, okay, I hear you, but last time, you know, but we have to get out of that mentality. We can't operate like that.
But how can we get out of that mentality?
Y'all women, so I want to allow y'all a chance to say something. That's something I'm trying to do now. I mean, it had to come from a woman, but I want them to say how they feel, how they feel that they can change. Because it's no type of way that we can get a communication with a woman if they don't let us know, hey, you know, this is what we like or whatever the situation is. We communicate now, so they have to tell you that. I only can tell you what I think.
Ooh, I mean,
like we talked earlier. it's all about adjusting. I feel like sometimes when a woman been through so much, they get tired of adjusting, and they just sat in one way. So it's no communication. It's no communication. You can be talking, but you just talking. It's no communication going on. And as men, that's why I'm sitting here now to get them to understand. Hey, I understand what's the problem when it comes to a relationship, because the relationship filters on down to the child, and that's what we're gonna get to next. When you can't communicate with a woman, it's because she's not ready to adjust. You can't make a person adjust unless it's something that they want to do. But when it comes to communication, is you willing to adjust? Because it's plenty of times, and we got to filter into this now. It's plenty of times that you have to adjust for your child, and it's plenty of times that I have seen women will allow their child to get hurt before they adjust, and I don't understand that.
Oh wow.
Well, I think another big issue is, and this is on both sides, male and female. Most people listen to respond. They're not listening to understand. So you can be having a in-depth conversation, so you thought, but I'm not listening to you to understand what you're saying. I just want to reply to what you said.
Why
I just want to get my point across.
And that's what I'm asking. Why not? After you see a person trying to communicate, maybe it's because, hey, you hurt. This person ain't gonna be with you. This, something happened in between time, but communication is the right thing to do, right? So I'm asking as women, I'm saying, I know, men, we hold on to things. But why is it that it's stopping you from communicating? You say, hey, look, don't come around here no more. I don't need you to come around here. We all right.
But then some women are not emotionally mature. They say they want a relationship and all these great things from a man, but they don't have the tools. They're not equipped to give what they're asking for. If you want a seat at the table, bring your own seat. But you can't tell him that he got to have 5 seats and you don't have one. Yeah, I can agree with you. How you feel about that? Come on, communication. When it comes to a man, what's the communication that we're not? What is the communication that we are lacking on? Let's go. Be
just
honest.
really talking, opening up. Just expressing yourself. Some men can't really express themselves.
Do you understand why though? I gave you. I'm saying, do you understand?
Some of them could be hurt. Damaged. Some of them might be damaged. Some of them could not be damaged. Some of them could open up, and they opened up to their last relationship, and it backfired on them. All that plays a lot of part. The relationship, your previous relationship, plays a part on your old. Sometimes, yes, it does.
No, I'm
your
not.
previous relationship that you have had plays a part when you goes into your new relationship.
Well, me as a man, I never felt that way.
You one man.
No, I'm just no. No, I know I'm one man.
A lot of women.
I know I'm one man, but I'm just saying.
R. Kelly said one man can make.
No, be honest though. I'm not a child, and at the end of the day, I think that's very childish as a man. But I can go with that. You're right. Let me go how you feel, and we gonna go to. You're right. I can't protest against it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. With the men's. Dietrich. I'm asking Dietrich. Shout out Dietrich behind the camera, my camera guy, always here for me. Brandon, me. What's one of your worst communications? What do you think is one of your worst points at communicating? What do you feel like you are lacking? Dietrich. We asking Dietrich just now, y'all. It's men. We're being honest about this thing.
Well, I kind of want to practice responding to whoever I'm communicating with without first believing that I'm right. I want to maybe acknowledge the fact that I might be wrong. And if I can acknowledge that I might be wrong, then maybe I can get somewhere with my communication, because I might be wrong. I want to focus on the fact that I want to be open-minded enough to say that I might be wrong. Something that I'm seeing in this situation could be wrong. And then I believe I can have more effective communication, because if I'm going in there believing that I'm right, I'm fighting for my point.
Right.
Instead of acknowledging something that somebody else is saying. So I myself to practice that more than just
Okay.
communicating and just to win an argument.
Okay. B.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm 4 years out of being in a relationship personally. I going on 5. That's quite a long time. So what I've had the opportunity of learning about myself is that sometimes I try to communicate a little bit too much, believe it or not. I try to communicate a little bit too much. Like, is everything okay? I'm too inquisitive. Like, I want to make sure everything is almost perfect, right? Because those that are more melancholy in personality or in temperament, we tend to have everything has to be detailed or routine. When some people are just really spontaneous, like they're sanguine in their personality, and even includes it rolls over into their relationship. So I think that my issue at the times past was me actually wanting to sit down and talk to women and try to see what's going on and all of that. And for the most part, guess what? That was too good. That was too perfect almost. It was too right. So they needed something a little chaotic. And I didn't realize that. And that was a literal issue in my relationship. Was I actually wanted to listen and communicate.
I just think you was running across the wrong.
That's what it was too.
Well, me, with me, I'm a Taurus, so
I'm a Taurus too.
I'm an honest person. I think my worst communication is a lot of things I don't have to address. I listen to you for a spur of the moment. You know, even if I know something, I think my communication skills is my delivery, or just addressing the situation in the whole point. Even if I'm right, everything is not to be addressed. I can get a person to try to see something how I see it. Even if it's their way, I still put them in a position to say, hey, look at it this way. Everybody don't see what I see. So my communication begins to be wrong when I try to force a person to see what I see. And sometimes you have to let bygones be bygones. I mean, a woman gonna be a woman, a man gonna be a man. The person gonna get the understanding that they understand. But I hate when I can't help a person.
Okay.
And my communication begins to get out of whack. And I think that's one of my points. And I think a lot of men, we have that problem, listening problem, in the way that we speak, or whatever the situation may be. And I'm not trying to put everything on women. I'm not trying to put everything on men. But I think as people, we have been through so much that those are some things that we should understand. I think we just rebellious against a lot of things as people.
Okay, so because here's the thing, as a man, you know, one thing, I have children out there, like Tasha said, like it's said that we speak on average about 400 words a day on average. But if you open up any Webster's dictionary or any thesauruses or anything of that matter that deals with etymologies, you're going to be dealing with over 20 to 25,000 terms. That's a part of the English language. But we speak on average 400. Now, it has nothing to do with male, female relation or whatever. We're talking about just in general communication. So, the fact is, how many of those 400 are actually negative terms? How many of those 400 are really positive terms? Right? How many of them simply conjunctions and everything? We know all of them are parts of the speech. But how are we using those particular words effectively? And this is why I say this. I'm going to have to put myself in the category and say that we as men, you know what, we have a serious problem in that sometimes we lose sight of how we are to even communicate with people in general to get stuff across. For instance, our children. Our kids, are they heard like they should? Are they really, really heard like they should be heard? Or do we allow the TV and the radio to babysit our kids and to communicate and be their voice and to be their adult for them?
I'm going to let a woman answer that.
Well...
No. I want her to answer.
Oh, okay.
Or I would keep my kids?
No.
Or
We're
just
saying
keep-
no. You
it's
just say your
not.
kids don't want to
It's
intro
not.
self. Let me say this.
It's not.
I feel like every child. I don't think a person should. I think that's the part right there with communication. I think most people worry about just their children. I feel that you should, as communication as people, we should be. Every child is your child. When your child not around, do you expect another grown person to have the communication with your child to tell your child, hey, don't do that? Would you have the same communication with somebody else's child?
Yeah.
So you have to. I think we just choose our words the wrong way, and that's when the communication become. That's why I try to cut on in to get the people to understand that we can't expect communication when we just choose to communicate with just our kids and everybody else just out lingering in the world. That's the problem.
But it starts with ours.
It starts with ours.
Yeah, that was
but
our-
the energy
that was
spreads out.
Yeah.
Your child has to go to somebody else's house. You have to deal with somebody else at work. You may have to go to work 24 hours of the day. Back then, when our mama was at work, she knew what the woman across the street, the woman around the corner. You got about 4 or 5 weeks before you got home.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna let her say what she got to say. But like I say, we're not addressing just one child. We're saying communication period, far as it's just period.
Oh no, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, when I say my children, I do mean my children, but I'm not negating no one else's kids because I cannot do that because I wouldn't want somewhere else with that type of positive vibe to negate my kids. So no. We're all inclusive. We're all on the same page when it comes to how we communicate to our children because ultimately we're doing a podcast where we're talking to everybody, right? We actually, y'all, and just to let you know, for those that I'm actually trying to make this stuff applicable to myself and to my walk of life. When I leave here, I'm going to analyze exactly how we questioning, how we talking, how we communicating to our families and to our children and so forth. So yeah, it's all inclusive. Yeah, when we were saying that, but yeah, I'm sorry, man, to cut you off.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, a lot of people are letting TVs, music, games educate their children because I can communicate to somebody else's child, but it's gonna be a problem when the child go back and tell the mom what I said, the way that I communicate with my kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My kids know exactly. The kids that be around us know exactly how I am. When they go to somebody else's house, they know how to be respectful. Now, if somebody at the house acting crazy, and I get on them, then they go tell their mama, and there it is the problem. So we can try to communicate with everybody, all the kids around us, but it's gonna be hard because some parents don't really take the time out to communicate to their child. Some kids only respond by you cussing them out. And that's crazy.
How did they get to that point, you reckon?
Because it started in the home.
Right.
If I can cuss Lil Johnny out 55 words, he'll be the sweetest angel. But if I talk to him, how you doing, sweetie? Oh, what's wrong with her? Why she talking to me like that?
What you want?
Some kids can't react to a person being
Be
nice.
nice. Yeah, I could. Well,
They like to be hollered at. They
Right.
like to be beat. They like to be whooped. They like to be, just. And
well, let me
that's
ask
how it
you a
is.
question. Women's, I'm saying that's a strong thing. How do y'all feel? Like you say, how did it get there?
A lot of it.
I'm trying to think.
I know
It's sad because go ahead. You go ahead because I can't even
I'll
answer.
go. I don't know, but I got something.
Okay.
Okay. Let me tell you about communication. My son. I talked to him. He went to church, but he was the biggest dice shooter. He was. And and I checked his room, and I'm one of them parents. You ain't got your own room. You ain't got no. You ain't got no.
He ain't paying no
privacy in
bill.
my house. But he was so smart with it. He'll come over, just like $5 or something. So where you get $5 from? It's always in ones. I never knew. And then so one day, he was at school shooting dice in the bathroom. So the principal told me, he said, the only reason why he didn't get suspended because he had the money in his hand, but we couldn't find the dice on him. So they couldn't suspend him for that because they didn't have no dice. But I communicate, his dad communicate. But you know what? his dad taught him how to count with dice. But I just didn't know that he was out there doing it. And I was like, he was just in the church playing.
Mm-hmm.
And now but I communicated to him. He had 2 grandmothers. He had 2 grandfathers. So he had both sides that was communicating with him on a regular basis. And he still, you know, he still was out there shooting dice. He didn't have to shoot dice.
Yeah.
But that's what he chose to do. So I really don't agree with that in the home, because you can tell them, but once they go out your sight, out of sight, out of mind, they do something totally different. I don't care what you tell them, what you being. People, I know my child ain't gonna do this. I would never say what my 2 ain't gonna do.
And that's good.
I just don't know.
I mean, that's good. I'm gonna let you go. I got something for the end of the podcast. You go ahead.
Okay, so I think that in your situation, you know, not to say that, you know, specifically yours, but in most cases, when we talk, right? When we talk, we say, hey, Johnny or Timothy, let's not do that, right? Try to come over here and sit down, right? That worked. We told them that nicely. They like this number here. Last time they told me to sit down, or they said that they told me to sit down, and they said that they was going to get me for not sitting down, they didn't do nothing. So you know what I'm going to do? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this number here. You're right. So therefore, yeah, sure you're going to do that. Yeah, sure you're going to do this. So I'm going to get up, and I'm going to do what I have, when I do what I got to do. Because I know you ain't going to do nothing. So we lose respect that even if we do communicate, we are still not bringing in the disciplinary type of action that comes along with communication. So therefore, they see us doing, they hear us saying something, but they don't see us doing anything behind it. And I think that may be the case as to why a lot of kids are doing what they're supposed to do. Where to the point where if I say, hey, mother, and I say that, then it might come with a little bit more force. If they might be serious this time.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that stuff becomes comical as well, because you curse some kids out and they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, they're going to laugh at you. And then they're going to use the same terminology. So the communication skills are still broken down.
Yeah, I'm going to have you say it. I think it's more mental trauma. I'm going to take y'all for a swing here. I like us. We growed up. Maybe some of the things we didn't have, we got to keep rolling. It's getting hot. Some of the things that we've been through as kids, we don't want our children to go through the same thing.
Right.
Far as not having, being spanked, being whooped. It's like it's like we're in a whole merry-go-round. We're actually trying to find out what is the right thing to do.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So it's like if my dad whooped me all the time and I didn't like to be whooped, then I scream. You feel what I'm saying?
If you scream, you get whooped more.
No. I'm saying.
I'm saying
to the child. I'm saying to the child, like you like, well, sit down. You don't want. I'm saying you don't want to whoop the child. I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you, I think the best communication, and a guy gave it to me today, and we were talking to a guy today. I'm gonna let you get to that question. It hurt me that I couldn't talk to a guy today, man. He was running the street, young guy. And after he explained how fun the streets was to him and how to take things, I felt so bad that I couldn't help him. Because I feel it's up to men's. It don't matter what you do.
Right.
As a man. I don't think you should allow a child to do a certain type of thing.
Right.
And I feel only cowards do that. I feel that only people that was manipulated and was bullied in school pushes kids to tote guns, to run out in the streets, and to do these type of things. See, I realized that. You understand what I'm saying? The people that they have this shit going on don't got nothing going on. A person with a business, a person that want a wife, a person that want to do good things are not leading kids this way. We have most of people that's confused. We have most of people that have been treated this way in school. So they can't latch on to the people that took off already, so they're latching on to our kids. While we 24 hours, 365, whatever, we at work trying to do these things for our kids, and we have these type of people right here leading our kids the wrong way when we trying to do something right for them. I think that's when the introspection come in. That we not really actually realizing, because sometime out the day you have to take some time out to talk to your child. You got to. But the most important thing is, he brought to my mind is, he said, when I explained everything to him, he said he was guilty of not introducing his child to God. There's nothing he can do. He basically saying, hey, Damon, I work every day, but I have this worst guilt in my heart that I know God, and when things get rough on me, I know where to turn.
Right.
He said, but I didn't teach it to my kids. We're not teaching our kids the resources that we learn because we so focused on trying to get this and that for them, trying to make them happy. When, hey, we already know what we've been through. So let's just go ahead and install this in them so when they know they don't have this is where they got to go to. We had all of this at first. We had the connection. We had the communication. The communication got lost because of something got thrown in and made us lose it. And now we started trying to find our way the wrong way. It don't matter what way you try to find as a person, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. It don't matter how much you can love a child's still going to try to take their own choices in life and do what it is that they want to do. Because that's the same thing that we did.
Let me speak on something
Go
very
ahead.
quickly, and I'm not going to try to sugarcoat nothing I'm about to say, because I'm really at this moment I can't take it anymore.
But do your thing.
The thing about it, everyone, is that we seriously as people we got a problem. Let's use this scenario for a moment. A man seeks to be a father to his child, right? It did not work out between this woman. It didn't work out. It could have been a communication that was broken down because of it, right? The results of a lack of communication. What are some of those effects? People are misunderstood. People are what? They're not heard. We miss so many valuable opportunities by not communicating thoroughly. And because of that, now look at what we're dealing with. If you communicate, and I may still not believe what's being communicated, let alone to what's the understanding what's being communicated, because I don't believe nothing you say. It's like one ear and not the other. So therefore, when you got a man, for instance, that's trying to be a father to his child, you know good well that this man has moved on with his life. He's paid for his mistakes. He's made his mistakes, apologized to you and the children for his mistakes, and stands up as a man to correct those mistakes. Sometimes, in those situations, a woman will say, okay, well, that's perfectly fine. You can have a relationship with your son, but you definitely cannot bring her over to your house around that woman. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this.
You got
No.
give it to one.
Yeah, you're right.
Why? But why though? But why? What
some of them just like that, and then even so, the man and the woman live together, and the mama still will say this.
Exactly.
So what are you saying? You want us to go get a room and don't go to our house? You know,
No,
you would be better with that versus taking home, showing them what a loving family could be,
Exactly.
even though it didn't work out for us.
Absolutely, but we're still talking about the effects of a lack of communication. It's one thing, we can talk about communication all day long and still not deal with the root problem of what's being caused.
As a woman, saying y'all women, be honest. Have you ever felt that way?
No.
Have you ever been so hurt?
Amen.
Have you ever been so hurt? Have you ever had friends that say, hey, and you say, hey, girl, he trying to take care of the child, what's the problem? Let him do it. Do you feel that women hold such a vendetta to where you can't have a communication?
Yeah, they do.
Some of them do. I don't have that problem personally, because when I was done. So we don't have no bad blood.
Right.
So
A
lot of them do though. They hold grudges and it's almost like what was the movie with Taraji Henson with her crazy behind? Acrimony. Even though it really wasn't children involved in this situation, and she was crazy. But I'm just saying, you're mad because
they moved on.
He moved on, and their life that you wanted, he gave it to somebody else because you didn't want him no more. But see, you can't be mad because you gave up. You decided to go your own way. But I think some women do have that issue. It's spite, and they're jealous, and they're hurt that he moved on.
And it's the same thing with men. It's the same thing with men. We could actually be in a relationship with a woman, and the woman end up what? Because of a lack of communication, she leaves, she moves on, perfectly fine, no issues or whatever. You get ghosted. on the child for 2-3 years, and all of a sudden, every now and then, you may come back into the child's life, and then you simply have an issue when this woman has moved on and has linked up with someone else who's a more of a father figure. Now, it's not that she's saying that this guy should take the place of yourself or the father, but that he's going to be an inside father to actually be a role model within the house. And we as men, we have an issue with that because we don't trust no other dude around our children. I understand that there's so many different things going on in the world today that we have to be cautious and careful. But when some man or woman decides to step up and deal with our responsibilities equally, we have a problem with it and allow them to do that. Why? Because one of the issues in a lack of communication has caused and produced mistrust. Mistrust. And that is one of the effects of a lack of communication and pain that a lot of people don't want to confront. And that is a serious issue. It's on every issue. So we look at lack of communication in closing as a small thing and just me saying, hey, Damien, hey, guy, loan me $200 real quick and I'll pay you back next week, right? I'll let you know. Damien doesn't get back with me. We look at lack of communication as something being that's just that simple. But it's much deeper implications than that when it comes to the hurt, pain, and turmoil of what we have done to society and also to our children. That's who I'm concerned about.
Yes, I think that becomes. That's when. I'm sorry, T. I think that comes with when something don't work out for you. I think people are just afraid to adjust to something else. You understand what I'm saying? Communication. Yeah. You kind of funny you brought up the money because I'm about to owe me some money. I need my money. Adjusting, man. Adjusting, I think, come with time, and with time, it slows down the communication. When you get out of a relationship or a friendship, I mean, when something breaks down and the person can't be trusted, I think a person holds on to the past. They holds on to all the things that happened to them before, till they say, hey, I don't want to do this no more. It becomes to be frightening. I don't think we can stress too much about communication. We don't, and that's why we don't understand it. We understand a more confusion do we do communication.
Yes.
You see the difference?
Yes.
Confusion, communication.
Yeah.
We adjust to confusion, but we don't adjust to communication to understand that, hey, I got to try again. This communication and me adjusting can make my life better.
Exactly.
A lot of people are not promoting that. They're not singing that. They damn sure ain't dancing it. So it's hard to digest it in as people. So when people get hurt, I think they hold on more to confusion.
Okay. And you 100% correct. Again, I'm gonna speak real here.
But you ain't got to tell me because I know I'm real.
Exactly. Anyway, all right. But no, seriously, everyone, I want us to think about how crucial this is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men out there cool with being the side dude.
Yeah, no responsibilities.
Oh my God.
Listen, let me tell y'all something right now. Yeah, we did.
Oh my God, come on.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm not cool with being no side dude. If I know I'm the side dude, I'm not cool with it. I better not know that you better be cheating. That's number one. That side stuff, either pick or choose. Clearly. Because I'm not finna get caught up in no kind of entanglement or whatever it is word that's out there that's floating around.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's one. Number two, we have adapted so much to the point where people are satisfied with being number two. As a matter of fact, it is a popular thing to be the number two. Why? You just said something.
You just said something too, my brother.
Back in the day, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
But today, it's like that. It's cool now. It was called cheating back in the day. Yeah. But today, it's okay to have that side person there. But hold on. If I'm not mistaken, now that we have STDs and them capital letters at an all-time high as a result of the side. Right?
Not
if yes, ma'am.
If you said it's the side piece, because you can... Go ahead.
I'm talking about...
Now go say what you feel.
Overall, it's because of the sides. Well, I guess you're right when you really think about it. I can't blame the sides on that. You're right. I can't blame the sides on that. So she's right. Yeah. But just to think I forgot my point. Oh well.
Okay, so I wanted to
Go ahead. Let us see what you gotta say.
I wanted to say this because we were talking about, children and things starting in the home as far as communication goes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of children aren't being heard because it is from, it's been passed down from generation to generation. People don't allow children to speak. They don't allow them to express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't allow children to tell them how they feel about things.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's done respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
you need to let your children talk to you.
Yeah, that's
you need to let them
ooh,
open
good
up
point.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to allow them to have an opinion. It's like I said, as long as it is done within the boundaries of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of the reason why some of these kids are going out and committing suicide. It's a lot of the reason why some of these kids are cutting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of reason why they may turn to
acting up.
drugs. It's because they know that they really don't have a safe place to go to with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't talk to me,
Damn.
if I fail you, then damn, you just out of luck.
Who do I have? That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to make it a habit, also to listen to my child. Sometimes, we feel like I'm the adult, so what I say is right. Listen to them. Because the first time that if you make them feel like they can't talk to you or they're uncomfortable expressing themselves, they'll never do it again.
Yep, absolutely.
That was beautiful. I want to slide to something because I think we have a lot of problem with this, and then I'm gonna let B take it with the. We're gonna take it to that was family. We're gonna take it to friendship. I think when things change as friendship, when the communication is not as strong, people get a misunderstanding. People grow. People grow apart. Some friends feel. I got a friend, love him to death. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say Kirby Jackson. He on here. A lot of things a friend don't understand, and it's a lot of time when the communication is not there because of the way that they choose to live, the way that they choose to think. I feel that a lot of confusion, beefing, and a lot of things come along because the communication is not there. If you don't communicate with a friend that's been with you for 10 years, 15 years, they feel they obligated to know things, for you to when you're going through a transition or something, it's something that you can't explain to a person. Whether you're in love or whether you're going through something deep in your heart, you have to go through the transition on your own. And when you go to your refig, a friend wants you to explain things to them. When you have a understanding with a person, and you should have a communication with them. It's sometimes people just don't understand. Everything don't have to be told to a person because you feel that a friendship should be handled this way. I think a lot of time, a lot of killing and a lot of things going on is because of friends. And they don't understand when it's time for change, it's time for change. Sometimes the communication might be a little off because it's something that you don't understand. And I feel like if you have the communication to understand with yourself and you have a real friendship, I feel you should be able to see it. I don't feel this should never be a jealous thing. And I feel like a lot of times when you don't have, like I told you, communication between yourself and God is important because that helps you see more things. She can tell me something, she can tell me something, you can tell me something. I can't actually see much. But when you know something about yourself and you know when you change and it's an unexplainable feeling, you'll understand what somebody else going through. I don't feel that you can go to communication until you learn how to communicate with yourself.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't digest something and then it makes you feel this way and you don't find out what it is. I feel as a person, in order to be a friend to somebody else, you have to learn yourself. You have to learn.
Be honest with you.
Exactly. So it's no type of way that I can communicate with you.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? I think that's when a lot of confusion come on and a person say, hey, you ain't tell me this, or hey, you ain't did this, or hey, you ain't did that. I feel that something come out your mouth that's just exactly the way that you feel. And then I think a lot of times in friendships, when you say something, it just be right there. It be stuck. The person, it be stuck right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna let the women say. I'm saying I want to understand what I'm saying this too because I do feel more women are more jealous than men. I feel everything has to be justified. Everything when it comes to a friendship, I don't feel that friendship should ever have to be like that. I don't. And I had that same situation with a friend. Until I had to say, hey man, this is what I had to go through. It was never no bad blood. My Lord is still to you, but I had a transition in my life that I couldn't explain to you. That now I need you to understand. And now we reconciling because that's what God wanted. Yeah. We both had God.
Oh, that's because y'all both had God.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah,
the other person did have God. Then how would you handle that same situation?
I can't handle the situation. I had to let God. I can't answer that question. I'd be alive if I said I can't go. But you can finish the answer. I can't.
No, that's wrong with that.
Okay.
But everybody is not gonna be on the same page. Everybody is not gonna be in the same chapter. When you have friends, you and your friends pray together.
Yep.
And people that don't understand you is not supposed to be in your life anyway.
Right.
You know, people leave because, just like you say, when the spirit moves, and it changes people. People feel like, oh man, she ain't talking to me no more. What's wrong with her? She acting funny. No, I'm just elevating. I'm growing up. I'm moving past what we used to have. Just like me and my friends, we pray together, we talk. Sometimes I don't even have to finish a sentence; they'll finish it for me.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Those are people that need to be in your life, not the ones that always got something negative to say, not the Debbie Downers. You have to have people around you that's gonna motivate you and push you to do better. Oh, Damon, no, I don't like what you're doing. Just because they tell you that, don't mean that they mean it hard. They just telling you there's something you need to fix. You know.
Anybody else?
You know, sometimes elevation requires separation. You know, there's everybody's not meant to go where you're going. Everybody's not meant to travel the road less traveled. You know, that's a decision. Some people don't want. Some people want to go the way everybody else is going. You know, it's the highway to hell. But I'm just saying. So I mean, that's really what all I think about that particular aspect of it. Sometimes elevation requires separation. It's that simple.
B, we're gonna let you in. You got anything you wanna?
No, I just want everybody to take some time now. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for tuning in. For those that are consistently tuning in, thank you. And for those that are also doing that, please share this information, because remember, the whole objective of Check Your Energy is simply that: check your energy to provide information on different subjects and topics that we all may be experiencing in our personal lives, so that we can bring about some kind of positivity and positive change. That's number one. Second, for those that are out there still, please stay tuned to what's coming. We're going to actually be having a podcast on Sunday. It's going to deal directly with spiritual matters. And with that being said, I want to thank Damon for even having this opportunity, or giving us the platform to be able to share our opinions and our beliefs and our different ways of living and how we think. And hey, just keep that positive energy going. Love your family members. If you know that you're separated with someone for selfish or prideful reasons, try to communicate. Heal those wounds. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And everyone has struggles. And we need to be actually trying to help each other instead of hinder each other. Thank y'all.
Well, y'all tuned in to the Energy Podcast. I want y'all to understand that translating energy is something very important. You have to deal with people that has that same energy that you have. Things gonna happen. You have to be willing to accept things in. It's just the way life goes. We don't have control of everything, but we do have control of ourselves. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for the love, the energy that y'all give us. I thank y'all for being here. Anything that y'all have to say, anything that y'all want us to change, we willing, we open to listen to it.
Very much so.
We open to listen to it. This is something we can call it free counseling. You know, cuz going to school for.
Yeah,
we gotta catch it. But we want y'all to stay tuned in. We're gonna come in with the Marty music. We don't want to hold y'all too much. We thank y'all. We love y'all, and stay tuned in.
Thank you.